Good evening, folks, and welcome to a late night Shallibodhran episode. Today it's using some cross technique from some stuff I'm learning in frame drum, and it's odd because it actually, from what I understand, and I'm not very well educated on it, is I've been watching stuff in tonbak, and I'm trying to reapply it to bodhran playing, but in this case, the only technique two techniques that I'm generally looking at is all from up here, so don't even worry about this. And if you're interested in this, just follow along. And it is the flicking on the fingers. And how it works is basically, it's like snapping your fingers. It's pretty simple. So you load it, pinky, load it, ring finger, load it, middle finger, but you can't really do this very well. It's a bit odd because you don't have that same snap to it. So instead you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So don't think of this too much. Go 1, 2, 3, and you see how the finger's already down. Load it on top. And the fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try both hands. Not so much on my right. Oops. Yeah, I'm not so much on my right. I'm trying to build up my right. Oddly enough, I'm a right-handed person. You'd think this would make more sense. Oddly enough, I write and do everything with my right hand, but for some reason, this makes more sense with my left. I can't really describe why. Or you can think about it in another way, hitting sort of 1, 2 hits, so instead of having like that. Load the finger already. Strike, 2. So down, pop it off, and you're done. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. When you're rolling it through, you can also do 1, 2 hits striking out. So the idea is that you're striking sort of in this motion, kind of like when you're playing with a stick. But instead you're using fingers. And again, sort of like loading it. You don't have to load it. But think of it as middle finger and index finger. Like that. 1, 2. So when you come back, 1, 2, 3. Something like that. So you have flicks, hit and release, and 1, 2, 3. And if you're really interested in giving a shot and you have some dexterity, you're going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, reload it, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the idea is to get that smoothness. So eventually you get a sound that has a sort of a feel to it, a nice clean sort of thing. I'm not there yet. I'm decent speed, but I'm getting there. This is about as fast as I can play with any sort of skill. And better sound than better speed, right? Oddly enough, my right hand is better for this. My My fingers just seem to line up better. That sort of thing. But I got a long way before I actually get clean and speed, so. Some exercise that you can do is, you know, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or going opposite, so 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Screwed that up a bit. I definitely need more work on my right hand. As a right-handed person, I'm so used to being more dexterous with this hand. But it's practice which matters, which is why my non-dominant hand, for some reason, takes better to it. And in most cases, I would be doing this instead. It's fun to try it out because I was so surprised as to how weak my left hand was, and how as I slowly progressed through the exercises, how much I'm actually now working muscles that I've hardly ever worked out of this hand, and how slow now my dominant hand is by comparison. How much I have to think about it, and the idea is to get it to the point where you don't have to think about it. So I'm a long ways off before I teach anything or be proficient in any sort of major advanced techniques, but it's fun to try it out because you can really get a good use out of it. It's only really useful for the most part on drums that aren't taped. You know, I have my Hedvig TrHED here, which is pretty good for it. But I also use my little Shane McGrath 14-inch taped head, and I actually think it's probably even a bit better for some weird reason, even though it's concave, it's a campers in a bit. So, yeah, try it out with your drums. The taped heads are not going to be as responsive, mainly because they just don't have the same resonance as an untaped head. And even on a drum like this, which has a coating around it, it's still easier to do a lot of it too. It's also easier to do it because of the profile. It's closer to being a 90-degree edge. You know, I could have showed you on one of my actual frame drums, but I wanted specifically to look at it on the bodhran because, unlike frame drums, the bodhran has worse sustain, and to use it well means you have to work with the character of the drum. There's lots of sustain when you hit it open, but it dies after about a second and a half. My big frame drums, so my DAF and my 22-inch Remo, those will go for several seconds before the sound completely goes, in some cases 5 or 6 seconds. So play with what you got. So hopefully this might interest you. You know, have some fun with it. Take care.